I don't know what you see with this, right? I don't know what you see, but it's wrong. It is so wrong. It is dead wrong. You, it looks pretty. It looks gorgeous. It's fascinating. It makes me want to go to space. And there's a sense of foreboding. Oh, Meridia. It's Meridia. Oh my god. The Illuminate. But you look into the details. This orbit is impossible. This cannot happen, and I'm going to prove it to you. So, let's begin with gathering some details. So this is Station 81 orbiting Earth, and it has that in Meridia in the background. All right, and if you skip ahead, you can see that the Earth rotates underneath you, and the stars move. The stars are moving. Wow. Okay. What the hell does that mean? Alright. Here's a time lapse that was taken a bit early on of what all that movement adds up to be. You can see Meridia stays in place. The stars move to the top left. Earth orbits, or it rotates away from the station, and the terminator line, the border between light and day, or day and night, that remains the same. So, Meridia, the station, and the sun are locked together, and the stars are moving this way, and the Earth is moving that way. So what does that mean? Let's pick apart some other details. So, if Earth is moving this way, right? That means we're right here. We're looking at a sunrise. We are, and because of the angle of which they do that, it's kind of weird. But like, you have the circle, right? Let's say, like, we're a little angled, but whatever. It's sort of like this, but we're zoomed in. Like, how can I can't. Okay. So we're zoomed in, like, right here, right? I mean, it's a weird angle. But I can see the purpose in it, right? Shut up, I don't need you anymore. So, yeah, that's that. And the stars are moving that way. That's the sunrise. Da da da. Okay, now let's before I go on, here's a crash course in orbital mechanics. It's actually fairly simple when you think about it. It can be explained with Newton's cannonball. So essentially, what you are doing when you orbit, I'm pretty sure I had it somewhere. It is somewhere around here, but I'm not going to search for it. Okay, I'm not gonna look for it. Where the fuck did it go? Where's the cannonball? There it is. So essentially, in orbit, you still experience gravity. Those people in the ISS, they're not floating in zero gravity, they're falling into Earth's gravity. But things in orbit travel at such a speed that by the time they fall towards Earth, the Earth would have curved away from them at the exact same distance. And with certain orbits, you have atmospheric drag, so every now and then you have to give yourself a little boost. But when you do that, if you keep yourself in there, you'll be moving so quickly that the Earth curves away from you at the exact speed you fall. That is a stable orbit. And there's multiple ways you could do this. And because of the geometry and just the nature of some of these things, like the inverse square law, where the further you are from a source of gravity, the weaker it is. I think it's like if you square your distance, your gravity is cubed, I think. So eventually what that results in is something like this. And that also means you can travel a little slower, and you won't fall as fast, so you travel slower. And what that also means is at these different zones with low Earth orbit, medium, and high Earth orbit, you orbit at different speeds. So the ISS, it orbits around 90, I believe. Yeah, circles the Earth in roughly 93 minutes, completing 15.5 orbits per day. The average for low Earth orbit, God, there's, where the fuck, whatever. The average of low Earth orbit is about 159. Where the fuck is it? I should really. I don't have a script here. I should really prepare myself better. But around. God damn, where did it go? What was I looking at? Or there, Jesus. So, International Space Station is this blue line right there. It goes in 90. It goes so fast. It does a full orbit every 90 minutes, like an hour and a half. I think that's like 16 orbits a day. 16 orbits within 24 hours. And as you get farther, your speed and your gravity and the time it takes for you to orbit goes down. So GPS satellites in the middle of middle Earth orbit, they go in 12 hours. So every day for us, it goes around the Earth twice. And eventually you get to geosynchronous. Geosynchronous is where you are just focused on one part of Earth and you don't move. It is perfect. That's sort of the idea of a space elevator, where a structure is supported not by its own weight on the ground, but it's supported by the centrifugal force throwing it out, counteracted with the force of gravity pulling it in. So this is that middle part. This is not to scale, just so you know. So this is that part where you complete an orbit. If you want to stay at a portion of Earth, and Earth orbits 24 hours, rotates 24 hours, then your orbit will be 24 hours. Makes sense. Okay, what does that have to do with this? Well, look. Earth orbits underneath it. So it's not geosynchronous. But it is moving kind of slow. Okay. So let's look back at this. This is sort of scaled up. Actually, I wonder if we could look at a live. Hang on. That's not what I want. Here we go. Whoa. Okay, so what's going on here? It's sort of... This is a little faster, I think. This is a little faster. But it's the same angle, right? So this Station-81 is in low Earth orbit, but it's not traveling as fast. Okay, so what... there's another thing. You see the Terminator line? That's not moving. Right? The Earth is moving underneath it. It's not moving as fast. And pretty much the sun is not moving. So, it's this weird... I'm not sure if it has a name. It's this weird orbit where it's locked with the sun, so it's stationary with the sun, and Earth orbits or rotates independently from it. There is a name for that, and it's called retrograde. Orbital or rotational motion of an object in the direction opposite the rotation of its primary. So this little blue down there, that's Earth, and this red, that would be Station-81. Right? But didn't I say that this orbit is impossible? I sure did. Thank you so much for pointing it out, because I always get distracted and I don't make a script. I didn't make a script for this, and I get off topic. But I'm glad you asked that, because here's a little detail. If you are versed in orbits and astronomy and just astrophysics in general, you probably would have already noticed something pretty strange. Not only is the Earth moving, and the Sun stationary, and Meridia stationary, the stars are moving. The stars are moving. Okay. What's so special about that? Okay, so let me just get this part out of the way. The stars do move. They are objects in our galaxy that move independently of each other. And over really long periods of time, they do move. Like you can see from here. I'm sure there's something else I could pull up for this, but yeah. So they move from our perspective. But the thing is, the galaxy is so big that these stars are so distant that they barely move. In order for us to notice them actually moving, we have to be very, very precise and look at them with our precise instruments over years possibly decades or millennia. Or look back in historical records with like Galileo or Newton to see their night sky, to see how it changed, and then compare that to what we see here. And there is something with parallax. So generally, parallax is just how, with two perspectives, an object changes, like appears to change places as you move from those two locations. That's how we tell depth. That's the biggest reason why we have two eyes. In fact, having two eyes, and whenever you put your finger to your face, and it looks like you have like two fingers, that lets your brain know that there's something right in front of your face. And when it comes to really far things, like this green cube in the back, way off in the distance, they move a lot more slowly, whereas the white cube in front is way faster. It's not that they are slower or faster, it's just that because of their distance, they move locations in your perspective quicker. And we do this all the time in astronomy, where at different parts of Earth's orbit around the sun, we can see objects in different locations. And that helps us judge depth. So all of that is to say that we do see the stars, not only the stars themselves move over time and shift in our sky, but we also see them subtly move as Earth goes around in the orbit. But again, these stars are so far. They are so far that they are nearly stationary. Even with parallax, they're almost completely, like they barely move. And to our human eyes, they don't move at all with parallax. And with the actual shifting of their positions in space, that is impossible for us to see. Because it takes it, even according to this thing right here, 10,000 years ago, the Big Dipper, it's almost the exact same. 10,000 years. We only live for a little less than 100. Yeah, in our lifetime, we will never see the stars shift. And even with parallax, you will only see them wobble just a tiny little bit. But from Station-81, look how quickly they're moving. Look how quickly they're moving. Wow. They're moving fast. This only took like, I think this was 2 hours into the feed. They moved that fast in 2 hours. And they all look the same distance. So it's like all these stars are the same distance. Because again, with parallax, the farther something is, the slower it moves when you move. Because of distance. And just a natural consequence of 3D space. The only way that this can happen is if they moved on a curved surface, like a geodesic, right? But they don't, because then it would have to be curved. It would be a curve. These would move in a curve to conform with the curvature of the geodesic. But they're not. They move in a straight line, the exact same distance as every other star. and they move that far in 2 hours when in reality they shouldn't move at all, aside from parallax. And as far as their actual positions in space changing, they shouldn't do that unnoticeably. There is no excuse for them to move this far in 2 hours. And if they could move, they would be moving in random directions. Different angles, different speeds, different lengths. Okay, so what does it mean for these things to be, for these stars to be moving over? Well, hear me out. If these stars cannot change their position, and if there's no parallax happening, and they're moving in a straight line, then that means that us in this system, we are moving in that direction. That's the direction we are moving in. All right. And we are moving. It's like we're going 90 miles an hour in a 35-mile zone. 35-mile-an-hour zone. You drive up to your local school, 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. No, you're going. It's reckless endangerment in highway speeds down the school zone while the lights are flashing. You would be going so fast. Oh my god. You would just, this is incomprehensibly fast. Like, even in the time scale of the universe, nothing goes this fast. You are probably going as fast as galaxies are trying to collide with each other. This is forever. Like, oh my god, this is so fast. Okay. There's another problem. What's the problem? Well, these stars, well, they're stars. The sun is also a star. But if the Terminator line never moves, then that means the sun never moves from the perspective of Station 81. To Station 81, the sun is stationary. And I'm not sure the exact, like, where the sun could be. It's not up here. It's most likely, like, way down here off in the corner. Because, like I showed before, this might be like a cropped zoom in of one side, right? All right. So if the sun is stationary, the sun, a star, is stationary, but the stars back here are moving, that just leads more credence to the idea that the sun in the solar system containing Earth with Station 81, the solar system is just barreling through. It's going inconceivably fast. In reality, the sun will move on from Earth because we are much faster than the sun. We orbit and we rotate and we precess, right? And all of that makes the sun very chaotic in the sky. Well, not chaotic, but like it it moves throughout the sky. But if you were to sit in the solar system independently of any kind of body of gravity, the sun and the stars would move perfectly alongside each other. You're not moving, so there is no parallax. This Terminator line has not moved. The sun has not moved, so there should be no parallax. But if the sun isn't moving, and if it hasn't been a million years, these stars should not be moving. But they are moving. So that means, okay, so maybe the station is moving. It's orbiting Earth because Earth is moving underneath it. Yeah, but the sun. The sun is not moving. this line right there, the Terminator line, it is not moving. This satellite is locked with the sun, with the Earth orbiting underneath it, and Meridia light years away. Because look, this is the I'm on Helldivers companion app. If you've ever gone on the Helldivers subreddit and you've seen things like this, that shows you this is the app. This is the please make use of this. And Arrowhead, if you're watching, please implement some of these things into the game somehow. But this is the Sol system, right? With Earth and Mars. But everything else are sectors. And then whenever you go there, it, like with New Haven, it would be like the New Haven system. So each of these planets are their own planetary systems, each with their own star. It's sort of like if the galaxy was a continent, these sectors are the countries that cut them up. Yeah, they're the things that cut them up. And a lot of star systems are not habitable for life, for our life. But the ones that are, they are grouped together in sectors. So from the Sol system, in whatever sector we're in, through the Altus sector to the Celeste sector is Meridia. I don't know how far it is. I mean, there used to be a thing here that would say like Earth and all these other planets are like something AU away from hitting, and that's a distance, astronomical units. If somebody could pull that up, and if somebody can pull that number, the number of AU that Meridia was from Earth at this area right here, then that'll tell you how far away it is. But it has to be light years, because these are their own star systems, which stars themselves are light years away. And these are multiple systems. And so through those multiple systems, then you get to Meridia. Meridia there. Not only would it be impossible to see it from this distance, because you fly up to it, you fly up to it in your super destroyer, and I'm not sure how big it is, but it didn't look that big. It didn't. And assuming that the entire mass of Meridia collapsed into the black hole, it shouldn't even be that big to begin with. But that's another topic. That's another science rant video for me to look into. But from light years away, we see Meridia. Light years away, Meridia, the station, and the sun are stationary. They're not moving. But all of the other stars are. All of the other stars carrying these planets, they're moving. Meridia is not. So in a sense, it would be like if we were looking at the map like this, it would be as if Super Earth and Meridia, both of them were moving through space like this. And it would have to be in this direction because it's from that angle, you know? So like it was sort of like that, and sort of like that. Not exactly, but you get the idea. And it was moving like down this way. And this map is a very simplified and easy to understand idea of it, but still, it gets the point across. Yeah, like there, even with all of these orbits, with retrograde, in order for it to follow the sun, it has to be retrograde. But in low Earth orbit, that's very difficult. It's not impossible, technically, but it's very difficult because you have to deal with drag. But the weirdest thing is, it's locked with the sun. That's not impossible. But it's also locked with Meridia, and the stars are moving. Meridia cannot be locked to it, and neither can the stars move. If the sun moves, the stars move. If the sun does not move, the stars do not move. And because the stars are... Meridia is in the stars, that has to move with the stars, but it's not. And that's not... This orbit is not possible. That's not... This... You can't even do this even if you wanted to. You could get close, but you can't. The closest you can get is if everything was stationary except Earth. Or if Earth moved, nothing else would be stationary. Or if you were locked with Earth, nothing else would be stationary. And another thing. So, I mean, I answered the thing at the beginning of the video, so if you don't care anymore, you can get out. But here's another thing another thing that's also inaccurate. Look, so this is a sunrise, right? This line right there. So it's going that way. We're looking near the equator, looking north towards the east. So it's like we're near the center, looking northeast, a quadrant of Earth. So north is up here. It's up in this little column. That little column there. But with parallax, and by studying artifacts, we know what direction the Earth and the solar system move in through the galaxy. Vsauce showed it. So I pulled up just like a basic diagram right here. This is how it happens. That's our motion through the galaxy, and Vsauce shows it in this thing.
Our local neighborhood of
blah blah blah.
Hour, roughly in the direction of the bright star Vega in the constellation of Lyra.
So, and that this is probably like upside down. So like north is down here and south is up there. And we're orbiting that way.
Our whole
here we go.
Are moving through the universe aboard spaceship Earth.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Wait, look.
Now, stop. This is roughly 100 years of Earth's movement through space.
Look at
This
that.
path we've traced.
That's the length of a human life
Of your life.
in the galaxy. In the galaxy. This huge galaxy. It is. It's huge. The distances are so big, you would not be able to see this movement. And as I, and that's where these drawings come in. So, relative to the flat galactic plane, we're tilted pretty much 60 degrees. With the north. That's a little too close. That's the North Pole of the sun. And then that's Earth's North Pole. So, yeah. So that's this. That's the plane. That's the way we're tilted. And those are the North Poles. And that would mean as we go this way, then the stars, if the stars were stationary, they would go that way, right? So when you tilt it, so that matches up, they go down like that. Whoa. They go down like that. Down toward the south and a little bit to the right, the exact opposite of where it should go. Well, a little bit more than the opposite. Not only would it have to be 180, but it have to be like a little bit more than 180. So it's like it should be going down this way, like down here. It's like, yeah, like I don't know, 170, 160, 120 is. Okay, wait. I'm not doing math. So, yeah, like, and then, okay. So this is where everything's up, right? And it's going that way. So let's correct it so that we're here, and then maybe tilt it a little bit. And wow, look at that! They should be going that way. They should be going in the exact opposite. That they should be going that way. But Meridia isn't moving. Meridia is coming towards us. This is what it would have looked like if Meridia was still on its way towards us. But that's not what's portrayed here. So, yeah, 30 minutes, just me rambling, just showing you that even if some things on its own isn't impossible, just none of these things in the world we live in, it is literally impossible. Violation of everything we know. Like, it is objectively false that everything that we see here with the movement and the what's moving and what isn't, it is impossible. If you were to take one thing, that would be possible. The stars move? Sure, move the station. The station isn't moving. It's locked with the sun. But if the sun is locked, then the stars should be locked. But the stars are not. And not even that, but Meridia is locked. But the Earth isn't, and yeah, nothing adds up. And even the direction the stars are moving in is not right. It should be the opposite. It's not right. So, yeah. Next video update in the comments. Bye.